Hey everybody, this is Joshua, and I wanted to tell you about the amazing pile of comic books that I recently found at my local thrift store. So where we live, we don't really have a local comic book shop that's really close. So when I'm jonesing for some new comic books, I do the next best thing and go to my local thrift store. And the thrift store that we go to a lot has a lot of great inventory. They tend to have really good prices. You never know what you're going to get, which is normal at a thrift store, and that's why I like going there. It's just fun. So usually they have a handful of comic books just on the little bit that's been donated, and I've gotten some really good stuff there in the past. I got some early Darth Vader, the first appearance of Dr. Aphra I got there before. The first Sam Wilson as Captain America. Every now and then I'll find one or two that's like, wow, this is great. Not that long ago, I walked in there and I looked around, and then I saw they had a long box set out, which is totally nuts in a thrift store. And I grabbed a whole bunch that day. I got the whole run of Avengers Academy with all the keys in there that was in pretty good shape, and a handful of other things, a lot of Captain America related stuff, and a second copy of first Sam Wilson as Captain America. So long story short there, go to thrift stores. You never know what you're going to find. But recently I went in and I just had an amazing haul at the thrift store, and I've been wanting to do this video for weeks. I was so excited, and I'm finally able to get down and do this one. So for legitimacy purposes, I'm showing the box that I brought at home in. They were able to provide me with an excellent Pampers baby wipes box, which worked great. It was the perfect dimension to hold my comic books and keep them from shaking all around as I brought it home. So here we go. Let's see. I've tried to put these in a little bit of order of coolness so that we can build up to a big finish. But I was just amazed. Picked up a handful of things. I'm definitely a fan of that early Image, so when I see those the same characters from those early 90s Image books, I look at it. This was an interesting one, Wildcats versus Aliens #1. This is a small key, and it looks like it had a little bit of decent value, so I grabbed it. Going through Independence, here's another one that's just an easy pickup if you can get it for cheap. My thrift store does all their comic books for $1.25 each, which is pretty good, particularly if you're pulling keys. So first Darker Image is one that I have, but I grabbed another because that should do pretty well. This next set, still also Image. I got a nice little run of Savage Dragon. This with the Savage She-Dragon is kind of a popular cover. It's a little hard to get comps on these sometimes when I'm looking, but it's potentially a $20 book. We'll see. And then kind of kept going through that run. There's a little space where She-Dragon seems to take over for a little bit. So you get a lot of really cool Eric Larson art, and I like it. Again, 90s kid, not ashamed of it. I was able to grab a couple of Spawns, so that has a minor first appearance. This one seemed like a little bit bigger of a key, first appearance of Ab and Zab. So for $1.25, grabbing these books that are keys that are way more valuable than what I'm putting in, that was pretty exciting. This was a neat little set, so not Image, but still indie. I have the first 4 of the Bloodborne series, so I've not played the game, but you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you're into this, if you're into video game comic books, it's a pretty great pickup. I think these will probably go in my next comic book yard sale that I do. I did one recently and learned a lot about that. It was funny, yard sale, the most popular item by far of anything that we had was comic books. So I'm going to do that again. I'm trying to build it up. This one was neat. It was actually the second print variant that seemed like it's more valuable than the first print. So happy with that pickup. In this long box, I also had a lot of Batman, and I got a handful of them, and I think these are all going to be for me. They didn't have a complete run. I kind of have this thing. I've done it there before where they've had comics, and I kind of have some mercy on if there looks like there is a true full run sitting in there, and I don't want all of it for whatever reason. I don't want to fill in the space in my house, whatever. I don't like to break up full runs. maybe I need to be a little more merciless in my purchasing so that I can get the keys that I want, but whatever. In this instance, they actually had a nice ASM series starting with a number 1 from one of the more recent reboots, running through where Kraven sets off a whole hunt with all the animal themed heroes and villains that he can find. They had a pretty good run of that, but no massive keys in there, and I had read it. I was able to get those at the library, so I wasn't jonesing to get that whole set and read it. But these Batmans, I didn't feel bad stealing just the ones that I want, not stealing, buying, but I didn't feel bad picking out just the ones that I wanted because they didn't have a full run anyway. So we grabbed the double date with Superman and Batman and Lois and Selina. This whole section kind of moves through toward the Batman Catwoman marriage, maybe. The first appearance of the Gentleman there. And then this one, call me sentimental, I'm a sucker for a marriage cover. Coming up on 20 years, so I do appreciate a good wedding and marriage. This was neat, even though, kind of a controversial piece of activity there, and Catwoman being Catwoman. But looking forward to flipping through these. This had a little bit of extra Batman and Robin origin. We're coming up to 56. This had no key significance, but it does have a really cool kind of shiny cover. I'm also a sucker for stuff like that. I thought this was hilarious. And then the last one here, we've got Batman and Catwoman kind of coming back together. So I'm looking forward to flipping through those. Batman's certainly a great character. And all the ancillary characters around Batman are generally pretty great, even though I'm not a huge Batman reader. What I was into as a kid was Batman Beyond. Loved that cartoon. And so this was the only one they had there, just kind of a random Batman Beyond, but it does have some key significance. So I was happy to pick that up. Terry McGinnis is a great Batman. All right, now we're getting into the stuff that I thought was really cool. There's a handful more DC, some reprints. These are DC Comics Millennium Edition reprints, and these are great. I mean, it's pretty excellent reprints of specific books. I couldn't really find any value on it, but the nice thing is I'm going to keep these. To be able to flip through some milestone historical keys, and then it dug a little further. There's a nice reprint of a Young Romance. You really don't see much of that. And then this really old Spirit book. So I could not pass those up. They're in beautiful condition. Got the really nice foil print there. So happy with the reprints. All right, so now we're getting into Marvel. Here's some books from me. Got a nice little bit of Spider. I did pick up some Spider-Man that day, just not the one. So got these kind of nice Spider-Man life story, number 1 and number 2, summarizing Spider-Man in the 60s and 70s. Then I got some semi-random Amazing Spider-Mans for me. So this was coming up around the ASM 800 space. So not a key really going into this one, but here we start to see first Red Goblin, first cameo of the Goblin Child, and then Spider-Man 800, first appearance of Goblin Child, and then 801. So I've got a nice little continuous set. I knew of these keys. I haven't read this little run of Spider-Man, although Spider-Man is generally great anytime. So these were on my list of books that I wanted to get. I knew a place I could go get these back issues, but they were like, $4 a piece. So grabbing this at $1.25 is great for me. And then there was another Spider-Man Annual number 1. No big key significance, but really nice symbiote cover. And then this one from the Kraven Hunted run that I referenced. They had episode 16, but I just love that cover. I think it's a Greg Land cover. People tend to really go all out when they get Black Cat and want to put that on, so very nice. Okay, so this is the next run. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these next books yet or not, and I debated whether to get them, but I figured whether I keep them or not, or sell them, you can't go wrong. 1 through 5 of the Return of Wolverine series. So there is a first appearance in this number 1. That's a really cool Wolverine cover. But we got 2, 3 with the burning claws, 4, and 5. $1.25 each. Can't beat it. Awesome. Like I've said in other videos, people ask me what I collect. I like Spider-Man, X-Men. You could probably say I like Image 2, the early stuff. So I saw this. This wasn't from a period of time that I read X-Men. I was in my not really following comics when this one came out. There's a Thunderbird related first appearance. I think it's a different character playing Thunderbird. But this one, I didn't know until I looked it up. This was actually like a 1 in 20 retail incentive cover and has some significant value. I wouldn't have been chasing it. I will probably keep it because it's a great X-Men book. But to grab one comp I saw was putting this up around $40. So to be able to grab that for $1.25, I would never pay that for myself for a random one. Speaking of random, I grabbed a couple other things. You know, the Bloodborne was kind of random. This one's pretty wild. The Undertaker Wizard Edition. And I had no idea when I grabbed it. It was in kind of a weird case. And then when I got home, I realized that it was a Wizard Edition and it was in this wizard case. You probably won't be able to see very well. There's the nice little wizard emblem there. And it did come with the certificate of wizard certificate of authenticity. So that's pretty cool. If you like wrestling at all, it's an excellent book. If you like wrestling, and you probably love The Undertaker, who's a cool, crazy dude. I'm going to skip this one because it's very cool. All right, then sifting through the box, I couldn't believe I found all of these. I had read this run, I think on Amazon Prime or something, because you can get some good reads on there. I couldn't believe I found a solid run of the Immortal Hulk. So it's number 1. It's pretty wide range of value on this one. I'm not a huge Hulk fan, so this will probably be a set that I resell in one form or another. This is the one that starts, it's had me pondering, should I venture into eBay, or should I just have a really awesome comic book yard sale and do this? I mean, that book has ranged, depending on what website you're looking at, up to upwards of $50, and it's in wonderful condition. And then it goes on through. And number 2, I was kind of shocked that number 2 seemed to actually be more valuable, except that then I realized this is the second print cover. You don't have that amazing art. I think this is Alex Ross that did these covers. If I'm wrong, I'll bleep that out and dub over the right name. But this one is not. This was a second print, which is really too bad, because all of these are just amazing covers. It was a really good read. You know, each one of these books is solidly, you know, $10, $20, $30, $50 in value if you wanted to go get them. If you were targeting Immortal Hulk, we got the Hulk versus the Sasquatch. I didn't know until I was reading this that Sasquatch was, you know, in that whole crew of gamma irradiated impacted beings and heroes. First appearance of Dr. Charlie McGowan. Really cool Hulk versus the Avengers cover. This was a weird one where Hulk got chopped up into pieces. The Absorbing Man becomes a Red Hulk temporarily. Number 10 here with the green door. That's just awesome. Number 11. The Origin of Gamma Radiation is what I was seeing online. I really didn't remember that from my read of this. But just wild. Be digging through a random thrift store box, $1.25 each, and you grab 11 Immortal Hulk. There was this also Immortal Hulk number 1, but it's kind of a little side story. Not near as exciting as the other ones, but I grabbed it because I was in a hurry. All right, we're down to some really cool stuff now. So, I mean, as if the Immortal Hulk run wasn't super duper awesome. But there were a few more that I got more and more excited. So one, I was super excited in the store. And this is the type of thing that at first you think, no big deal. And I've learned there are certain comics that you wouldn't expect that have a lot of value. And I would have probably thought about buying this anyway, but bam, Powerpuff Girls #1. Powerpuff Girls was an excellent cartoon back in the day. It was hilarious. It was one of those cartoons that looks like a kid's cartoon on the surface, but contains a whole lot of adult jokes. And that sucker is in amazing condition. Different places were comping this out at $50, $60, which is nuts to be able to pick up here at a thrift store. I am probably not gonna sell this one because I think it's super cool. I liked Cartoon Network back in my college, and in the early years when I was married, we used to watch stuff like this. So super cool. This last little set, I saw it in the store. I was gonna get it regardless, but it wasn't until I got home and started researching that I realized what a big deal I had in my hands and what I had just picked up at a thrift store. This is a little run of a book that is great, and a character that I like is Miles Morales. So this is the 4th ongoing series of the Miles Morales as Spider-Man #1, and we got a little run going here. I haven't read these before, but I do like the character. I think Miles is a really compelling character and usually well written. So here we go. #1, massive value to be getting at a thrift store for $1.25, particularly in just great condition. Then we had, sorry, I got them out of order. #2. #3, first appearance of Snatcher. #4. Now we're turning in a little bigger. At #5, the first cameo of Starling. There's a character I'm interested to flip through these and read and learn about this, but here's the big one. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, #6, the first appearance of Starling, with Starling on the cover. So to be able to go in to a thrift store close to where I live, pay $1.25 a book, and get a whole lot of stuff that I'm super excited about is just amazing. It was a wonderful day. We were right there at the end. I was like, counting down and trying to get it done and going through this whole long books as fast as I could because they were going to close. And I don't know how your thrift stores are like, but when they closing, they like to go ahead and close, and they tell you about it and do a little countdown and everything. So you're like, gotta get all my stuff to the front. But we did, and this is just an amazing haul. Other guys on YouTube have really preached this about, with this hobby, and I think it's true with life in general. Just have some patience. When you're looking for something, good things you'll find it. Just keep looking. You'll find the deals that you're looking for. And this day, I found deals I wasn't looking for. I was just looking for comic books in general and excited to be going and finding things. And then to come out with a haul, including, all of these great books, some of which will be for me and some of which I'll use to sell, and then take the money from the sales to buy books that I do want. Again, I'm not going to take credit for that. Watch other comic book channels, Mint Hunter Comics, watch Journo's Comics and Pop Culture. These guys have excellent videos. They're able to share, whether it's garage sales or online or anything, being patient with the hobby, taking the time to find what you're looking for, enjoying the hunt, and then, taking it and turning it into something where it kind of helps to feed itself and keep you going. So this is going to be great. I may have to learn how to sell things on eBay. If you're on here and you're curious, because I have 0 graded comics in my collection. Just being honest, I have no graded comic books. I'm not against graded comic books. I just haven't gotten into that market yet. So looking at these, if you think there's anything that I should get graded, leave a comment and let me know, because I would consider that with some of these, particularly considering I'd be looking to sell some of them, particularly the Hulk series, and try to turn this into funding for books that I do love, books that I would be specifically hunting for. So let me know in the comments. If you like this, just let me know. I enjoy this hobby. I enjoy hobbies, period. But this has been a lot of fun. like I said, I was super excited to do this video. I'm glad I'll be able to get it recorded. We get this posted on to share it with the world and say, hey, get out there and hunt for treasure wherever you are. If it's comic books, if it's, old glass, if it's vintage clothes, whatever it is, go hunting and have fun in your thrift stores, in your secondhand shops, and just enjoy it. And on the way, meet some cool people and get to know them and make some great interactions. We don't have enough of that in the world anymore. So have a lot of fun out there. I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, bye everybody.